Welcome to the Young Entrepreneurs Podcast. I'm here with my good friend Jake Kiltz and our special guest, Christina Colon. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Cologne.
Cologne.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. So tell us a little bit about yourself. We met just earlier this week, and we talked a little bit about what you do and what you're good at and all your hobbies and stuff like that. So why don't you share with everybody else, kind of give them an idea.
Okay. I don't know. I guess where do you want me to start? Do we start with my hobbies?
Where did you grow up? Did you grow up around here?
I grew up in Aurora.
In Aurora?
Yep.
East Aurora? West Aurora?
I grew up on the nicer part of Aurora, I guess I would say.
East Aurora.
Yes.
Got it.
Isn't there like a bridge that separates it or something like that? Or?
So I grew up like right on the border of Batavia and Naperville,
okay.
and like Warrenville. So in that little corner over there, right where the new outlet mall is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
like North Aurora.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right over there, yeah, pretty much born and raised there, family's Puerto Rican.
Were you a smart kid?
I would say so.
In school?
I mean, I was decently smart.
Decently smart.
Dude,
Okay.
she's an entrepreneur, man. She's got to be smart.
No. Entrepreneurs are not very smart.
Come on. Give us some
We're
credit.
all just winging it.
Yeah, we're all winging it. We're all winging it.
We're good at that. We're smart at that.
Yeah. All right. So you're a smart student.
Yeah, I mean, I got good grades, honor roll and stuff like that. Took advanced courses. Yeah, I did okay. Graduated early. So
Good.
I'd say she's pretty smart.
It was good.
Yeah. Okay,
Absolutely.
well, check that box. You're smart. Okay, so,
Somewhat intelligent, check. I am
Okay.
glad I got that.
and then went to college?
No, actually, I didn't. Well, I did
Me
some
either.
like part-time COD. Took some classes at Wabansie. Never finished. I had my first kid at 19, so pretty much put a halt in it. And I've taken classes.
That's a huge hump in life.
Well, I mean, I've kept taking classes since then. Just nothing full-time. Like maybe 2 classes here, 1 class there, 3 classes. Just whatever can fit into my schedule. So I'm like the never-ending college student.
What did you want to do when you were in high school and before you had your kid at 19? Like what was the ideal plan?
Honestly, it changed so much, like
You didn't know?
like it normally does. I really liked marine biology. I was into business. I was into physics. So it really just changed. And I would say I was winging that too. It's just, like whenever, I don't know, I just figured at some point I'd figure out what I really wanted to do. And that didn't really happen.
Well, that's what I did too, and I think Matt's kind of going through the same thing too, like just throwing stuff against the wall and like trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
and
just
like
like trying different things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like I like that, but I'm not passionate about it. So what's next?
Yep.
Because I want to do something I'm passionate about.
Yep, I did a landscape business. I did
Okay.
car sales. Like I was just trying to figure it out too.
Awesome.
I remember my family always being like, "You should just stick with this one. Just stick with it." So-
Right.
Not only that, they always try to like give their best advice to you and like what they would do. So.
Yeah, but it's subjective on what their life was about.
Absolutely.
But
yeah,
you went through that too. Like
Yeah. I started like 3 or 4 businesses before I finally found the one that made the most sense or that I was truly passionate about. But it took
Right.
a whole bunch of tries, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So that's pretty much.
So you're winging it. Now you're here. What are you doing now?
So now I'm the marketing director for a home inspection company based out of Naperville, Insight Property Services.
Mm-hmm.
So I started with them back in 2014. Actually started as their office cleaner. It was like a side
So you're
part-time
working
gig.
your way up.
Definitely did.
Are you going to take over the company? Is that your goal?
No, that's not my goal. The owner is way smarter than me, so I don't think I could ever manage that one.
Leave it to him.
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, Joe's like an extremely intelligent man, so I learn a lot from him, but no, I would not try to take over the company.
He'd probably be really happy to hear you say that.
I mean, he's a good friend too, so yeah. They gave me that job. I got divorced and I moved back down here, and I was bartending, so it was just like a side thing to help them out. They needed someone to come, clean up their office and, side cash, so why not? So I started with that, and then they asked me to be the marketing assistant, I think it was office assistant first, and then it was marketing assistant, and then their marketing director was leaving the company, and he came to my bar. I was working one night and having a drink, and we were talking about it, and I was like, why don't I do it? I don't have any experience, and I have no idea what I'm doing, but I learned quick, and
You could figure it out.
yeah. So he said okay, and he gave me the opportunity, and
So go ahead. Sorry.
I just want to point out the opportunity aspect of it. Like that's what I feel like most people end up doing what they love. It's just looking for opportunities. That's pretty cool how you just like sat at the bar. You're like, why not? Let me try this.
Well,
Like,
like I was already the marketing assistant, so I had already started doing it and I was already familiar with the company. So by that time I was with them for about 2.5 years. Not just, not cleaning the office anymore, but like actually working, doing the trade shows and stuff like that.
okay.
So yeah, I saw the opportunity, and honestly, I was really sick of bartending.
I'm sure.
That gets old.
It does, and like the long hours, the late nights, it's great money, but it wasn't my career, So it was like this isn't really what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I was working 3 jobs at the time, so I really wanted to cut that down to 1.
So as the marketing director, I think we were talking about you're doing like the Facebook, you're doing all the posts, and you're doing email blasts, and you're doing
blog,
scheduling,
website scheduling, education portion of it. So we do like contractor training, stuff like that.
Have you found anything that's interesting in doing all this? Like, oh, I didn't realize email worked this well, or
all of it. Oh my gosh, all of it. It was, I didn't know any of it when I started. It was absolutely learning from scratch. And I can't tell you how many YouTube tutorials I watched and like Google classes that I took, and just finding like different free classes online. Like, oh, okay, like this is how you do it. So like that's what I'm gonna do. So I was just trying to get better results and tracking those, looking at my progress. Looking at Google Analytics and the feedback that we were getting from Facebook and all these aspects. Like, oh, that didn't work so well. Like, okay, this is a better time to do it, and learning our demographic and stuff like that, and then building our company off of that.
So what is your demographic? Like who do you like to target, and who's hitting better? Like, who is resonating with your content?
I would say it would be women between the ages of 30 to 50.
Why?
I'm not sure why, but that's who ends up calling and scheduling their home inspections. It's usually the wives taking it on. Like the husbands will typically do like the background work, and then it's like, okay, like call them and schedule that. So
I completely agree with you. I was asking why. I was just curious if you had a different perspective, but I think because women are more social than men see that stuff and they're like, no, whatever. But women are more willing to share and like comment on things because they have something to say. But guys, a lot of the times their brain is just like numb. They're not thinking about much.
I could say every time I answer the phone and it's a woman, like we have like a conversation, it's almost like we're old friends, like, oh, how's your day going? Like we just start chatting. Mm-hmm. So I have to market towards both. So I do a lot of visuals for the women, and then the content is friendly for both, but there's more relevant contact for the guys who know a little bit more about homes and all of that. And then, the pretty design aspect that catches the eye.
Yep.
Well, at the end of the day, women usually are like the higher percentage of the decision-making process when it comes to home improvements or even buying a house.
I would definitely say, like with a married couple,
women want security.
Absolutely.
Women are the ones that say, I want a house.
Yeah.
And the guy executes on it, but the woman is the driver of the whole thing.
Yeah. And they will either say yes or no. Like they're the ultimate decision maker from what I've found.
Now, how long did it take you to figure that out, so that it's women that you're tailoring towards?
I just had to look at, like you get feedback from, various channels, and it'll actually tell you like, okay, like women between the ages of 30 and 50. So I knew that starting with it, it was just, okay, I know that now. So how do I actually grab their attention?
Yeah.
How do I grab their attention and retain it long enough?
Did it take a long time of like providing content, certain types of content to get that response? Or was it just like the first time you went out and put something out, you saw that all of these women were responding to it and that was what you went with? Or
I use myself as a baseline, so if I'm looking at something, if I have, like 10 different choices, I'm going to go with something that's really eye-catching. Like what catches your eye? What's the first thing that catches your eye about this? And I feel like a lot of women are like that, like something will catch your eye, you're likely to read about it. If it doesn't catch your eye, you're just like, okay, next.
And you're perfect because you're in that demographic of like, you're a mother, like you have the same relatable tendencies as they do.
Yeah.
That's why when we did our event stuff, it was all women and I couldn't relate, but my wife could. But now we started this young entrepreneur network, and it's like I'm being able to actually see exactly what you're talking about, like the relatability of like, I like this better, or I like this piece of content better. And most of the time, if I like what I'm saying, or like, you know, the copy of it or the image, it actually does better just because I know that, because we're reaching the exact demographic that I am.
Right.
So that makes sense a lot.
Yeah.
So having somebody when you're like marketing, a lot of the times being able to market to the demographic that you are is a lot easier, I would say.
I mean, I guess I've never really had to market outside of that. So,
Right.
Yeah, it has come pretty easily.
It's really hard to market to 80-year-olds, you know, when you don't know anything about 80-year-olds.
Yeah,
You're not 80 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Well, that makes sense for recruiting, though. You know, if you are building a team for your business and you're trying to grow, it's like you want to recruit marketing people who are in the demographic.
right.
That
That can relate to your demographic. Absolutely. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. That's cool.
All right. So this is the Young Entrepreneur Podcast, right?
Yes.
So obviously you're an entrepreneur. You're
Yes.
a business owner. So you work with what was it called?
Insight Property
Insight
Services.
Property Services.
Yes.
But you have your own business essentially.
You know, essentially I do. And I guess that really came to fruition like the last couple of months.
Organically.
Yeah, I didn't intend on having a business. It started with just helping a friend out, actually someone that was next to us at the booth at the Home Run Pheasant Show, which we're also doing this weekend. So yeah, we were
I'll be
booth
there.
buddies. You should be, absolutely.
We're going to get tickets.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, then I'll see you there.
Because we're trying to start our own home show. So we're going to like go and like market to all the vendors there.
Very
And
cool.
steal all their ideas.
Well,
Hashtag
I mean,
marketing.
You can count on us being one of your
Okay.
vendors.
All right. Fair enough.
So yeah, I met him, Joe Cavello, actually. He owns a local contracting company. And we became friends over the last couple of years, you know, just like being booth buddies. And he reached out to me and asked me for some advice on his website, you know, some feedback. So I gave him some feedback. And then he hired me to do his website and his marketing. So I've been doing that. From that, I got some other referrals from him. And you know, I went down to Texas to visit my sister, and I got some referrals down there. So, you know, it's just like, oh, my sister can help you with that. I'm like, I guess I can.
That's the best business when it naturally happens. Like there's obviously a deficit in people being able to find somebody that's trustworthy in exactly what you're doing. You know, marketing.
Well, I think it's so from the people that I've heard of, they've hired other people to do
And they're
like their
terrible.
social media marketing and stuff, and it's all the same.
Yeah, it's basic posts that they use for every single person that they've.
Right.
Motivation Monday.
And it's
Yeah.
not engaging, you know, it's just like, call me now, but it's not providing anything. It's not providing any information.
Which is garbage.
Right.
First of all, don't ever say call me now on a Facebook post when they can message you.
Right.
That's dumb.
I mean, it was really tacky.
Yeah.
And they weren't getting the results that they wanted. You know,
what are you doing differently in your posts? And
I provide useful information. It's
Value.
Yeah. If you find that information valuable and you want to learn more and you want us to help you, great. And if you don't, then at least you have some valuable information. You know, I think at the end of the day, every business should just try to put something out there that helps their consumers, whether or not they end up becoming one of your clients or not. Mm-hmm. You know, we've had people call us for different things, and you know, like if we can't help you, refer you to somebody who can. And at the end of the day, that's what you should be trying to do, right? It's like, obviously I want the business, but I'm not going to shove it down your throat.
Yeah, because it's a small world.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
back
it
to
is.
you.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So when you first got that first client, you were already doing all the marketing for Insight Properties?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
For Insight Property Services. So I was already doing the marketing and the Facebook. Obviously the Facebook, the website and all that stuff. So yeah, he saw that and he was like, well, you know, he's a pretty smart guy. So if he trusts you, I can trust you too. So,
Absolutely. That's cool. I mean, that's like you said, it's organic. It just happens.
right. Yeah. Yeah, it did.
What would you say was your biggest struggle with that first client? Like that's your first client ever, right? I mean, you had the background, but
Honestly, he's like a really laid back guy, super flexible, easy to work with. You know, he gave me like the general ideas that he wanted, and he kind of let me be creative, which is what I really need. And I think that's what I enjoy most about it, is just being able to be creative. I've always been kind of an artsy person, with no real skill in anything. So I guess websites, I've found that to be, it's fun for me. And I just like being creative, and I've always liked helping people. So yeah, I can't say anything was really challenging about him being my client. But just like getting started, you know, doing
Figuring
the
it out.
website and then, you know, making sure that he liked everything. And, you know, being able to take constructive criticism because, you know, there's like, oh, okay, not so much. And then, you know, you have to reconfigure things and work things out and make sure that they're hitting the goals that they wanted to hit. So, and he's hitting those goals. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Is there like a specific post that you like posted that you're like, oh wow, that one did really, really good?
Yes. And actually it just happened recently. We had like over 1,000 people respond to it.
Whoa.
It was really
Organically?
crazy. Organically. All organically.
How many pages are how many likes on the page?
On the post itself,
No. On your business page. Was it a business page Facebook post?
it was a business. Okay, so I made the blog post on the website and then shared it on Facebook. So, gosh, I can't tell you how many likes we had necessarily. I know it reached over 7,000 people, but we had at least 1,000 website hits from that and interactions.
Whoa.
So it was, crazy. Like highest that I've seen, organically,
Right.
it's not a paid ad. And it was because it was controversial.
What
it
was the post?
15 ugliest home or kitchen trends that need to die. And we had a lot of feedback from that because, a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, I agree. And like, I love granite. And, like, oh my gosh.
I love subway tile.
Yeah.
Hey, that kitchen looks familiar. What the?
So and we had a lot of that, it got a lot of people talking because, obviously everyone's updating their kitchens. You want to stay modern, you want to stay with the trends. And, maybe you saw something that you did and you're like, whoa, that's a trend that needs to die. Like I just did that last week.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we had a lot of good and, wait, I still like that trend. And I think really when it comes to kitchen renovations, it's based on your personal preference, so like some
It's
people
subjective.
go
Yeah.
overkill
Yeah.
with some things, like barn doors everywhere. Like, barn doors are cute, but like your whole house shouldn't be
Yeah.
like, barn doors.
Or like teal, like they just do all teal everywhere.
Right. Yeah. Just like overkill, So we got a lot of response from that one.
I think, and I've been realizing if you give a post where people have the freedom to give their opinion, they like can't help themselves. They have to give their opinion.
yeah, absolutely not.
So you're
but-
like really encouraging engagement.
Right.
Absolutely.
And again, it wasn't like a call me. It was just like, hey, found this cool article, thought I'd share. So,
It's the controversy that probably really brings out that.
I always do that.
it definitely did. But then it got people talking and they're like, oh, well, you do kitchen remodels. So, don't have to say it. Go to the website, check it out, see what's there. And we do kitchen or, Cabela Contracting does kitchen remodels. So you should, check it out and then, seeing their work. So.
Yeah, I always do post when I like get a new listing. I always do a video, like a live video, and then I always say like, "What's your opinion? Do you like this kitchen or do you not like it?"
Right.
And it's an average kitchen, and no matter what they say, I'm not gonna even we're not gonna do anything to it. But just like them like needing to give their opinion about it, they're like, "You should put a picture right there.
Right.
That would make it look better." Like they just have to do it. So being able to create that engagement, I think that's what everyone's looking for, when they're doing this Facebook stuff. So
Right.
like being able to, this kitchen thing, it's like controversial. People want to give their opinions and they want to see if their stuff is on,
Right.
their
Yeah.
kitchen's on there. So that makes a lot of sense.
100%.
Yeah.
So just, sticking with stuff like that, obviously it works. And we're getting a lot of feedback. And, that's really what you want with whatever company. You want people to give you their honest feedback. And I think that's one of the best ways to do it because you're not directly asking them for their opinion. Like, well, what do you think of something that I did? It's like, all right, well, what do you think about these multiple different ideas? And then, you get people talking like, no, I hate that. No, I love that.
So why don't you, have you made an ad with this post yet?
No.
You should, don't you think? I bet you would do really good.
Probably.
Yeah.
I've been contemplating it, but he personally likes to stick with organic. So,
enough.
I go with my clients' wants.
Yeah.
That's a personal preference.
Absolutely.
Oh wow, interesting.
Yeah.
But because what you could do is once you do, because you're getting 1,000 Facebook or 1,000 people onto the website, correct?
Right, yeah.
So now what you can do is you can retarget them to that same ad because you can pixel them.
Yeah.
And then you can retarget them. And now you're hitting those exact people that already saw it with different stuff, So
Yeah.
there's so many different ways you
I
can
can
do that.
definitely bring that up to them. That's why I like this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's getting that feedback and being able to present it in a different way that I probably wouldn't have thought of.
Because he could spend $100, nothing more.
Right.
Just that. And he could probably get, even one customer because he's such a high acquisition, it's probably what, 15, 30,000 per.
Lead. Depending on what you're doing.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's like real estate. So
Right.
even if he spent $100 and he got 10, 20 leads from it, I think he'd be pretty happy.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll bring that up to him.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
good
going to
too.
see him on Saturday. He's my booth buddy.
Oh, that's right. You'll
Yes.
see him at the trade show.
I'll tell him about it when I get there.
Yes.
I'll tell him.
Is
Yes.
this the same place you guys met initially?
It is.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
Cool.
And we're actually doing a home inspection for him on Wednesday. So, it all kind of leads back. It all intertwines.
Absolutely. I want to kind of go back to how you mentioned he was really laid back and easy to work with, but sometimes that can be kind of a struggle, right? Because some people don't give you enough detail, like especially when it comes to creating a website or doing their marketing for them. Like, is that ever an issue for you? Or
no, he actually does really well with that.
Okay.
There's been times where he's been kind of vague, but then I did something that he didn't like, and then he got a lot more specific. So I think that's really the learning curve. It's just like, okay, well, you can be vague, and then I'll just I'll wing it.
Yeah.
Or you can give me something specific that you want me to do.
I think that's good for creators, though.
It
for
definitely
you to have the
is.
freedom, and then him just be like, I don't really like that.
Right, yeah.
And
Like
then you
that was
can change
okay.
it.
I didn't really care for it, though. Maybe we can go in this direction next time. Like, all right, well, I'm glad I have your input.
Exactly.
So,
take
yeah.
that, store it away for later when you need it.
Yeah.
Yes, jotting it down.
Absolutely.
That's good. That's
Cool.
really good.
So we're coming to a close here. It's getting close to that 30-minute mark, and I know you have to leave soon. So we want to respect your time and everything.
Spin class.
That's right.
I ran 3 miles before this, and now I'm going to go bicycle 20.
Oh my gosh.
It's dedication right there.
Yes.
Gotta stay with it. You should take some notes, Jake.
No,
you can
I'm
learn
okay.
something, man.
It's,
Okay.
4 kids will do something to you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I gained a lot of weight when I had started having kids.
Well, spin class, run 10 miles. Come on,
Yeah.
man.
You
just
should
giving
come
tips
to
here.
one of the spin classes,
I
and then
don't
we could do some
know.
yoga and go for a run afterwards.
I like
It'd be
yoga.
Great.
I really
Can't
like
see
yoga.
Jake on a bicycle doing a spin class. I
No,
just can't
come
picture it.
on.
Oh, I would be the guy yelling, like, come on, everybody, let's go.
With the spaghetti
I'd be
stripes?
connected to everyone, feeling it with them.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be
Well,
at Cycle Bar if you change your mind. It's actually
Cycle
kind of
Bar.
cool. They kind of make it like a nightclub kind of feel. So
Oh,
you've got
like
like
that.
45 bikes. They turn the lights
Do
down.
you take shots and stuff while you're doing it?
No, you drink beer
man.
after. Come on.
Oh,
You
after.
can't take shots while you cycle.
Well, you can. You just might not be very successful. at the
Yeah, I
end.
don't. No,
Might not
like
make it the whole
we
way.
have like wine nights, like Wednesday wine night or like Friday beer night or whatever. So kind of a little, sometimes a little mimosas on Saturday morning.
That's culture right there. That's another
Love that.
business thing that having that culture. We were just talking about with the yoga guys, how they after their yoga on the beach, like everybody's connecting and like talking and hanging out, and
Yeah.
they're like making these connections. And as a business, that's so valuable because those people are relating your business to like meeting these friends that have such a positive impact on themselves.
Oh, yeah.
So they're connected to that. And it's just it's
Absolutely.
ultimate,
I'd definitely say it's like a family. You walk in,
Yeah.
you're like, hey, Sherry, how's it going?
Yeah.
You ready for class?
It's the ultimate branding.
Damn
right
Carol.
there.
God, Carol.
Can't stand her.
God, Carol. So.
So last thing, just to leave everything off, I know that we talked a little bit about how your business right now is like doing really well.
Yes.
Almost in a bad way where you can't really take on many clients at the moment.
Yes, I'm writing 2 proposals this week. Actually, I have one later tonight after spin class, 3rd shower for the day.
Yeah.
So I'll go over there, give them their proposal, and then the biggest one that I'm doing is on Thursday, and it's for a national company. So
wow.
that'll be my biggest client to date, and I need an assistant. So if you guys know of anyone.
Virtual assistants.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I mean, I work from home, so
Yeah,
I would
it's the best way
expect
to go.
whoever works for me to work from home too, and
Might
we
be
can
able
like FaceTime.
Good for you.
able to hook
Congratulations
you up.
on
Thank you.
just doing so well.
Yeah, thank you.
Having a kid at 19 and being where you're at is something to say.
I mean, yeah, it took a lot of trial and error. I will say that.
Yeah.
It did not happen overnight. It was not easy, and it was really unexpected. But just I make the most of it, and I kind of go with whatever's presented. Like doing this podcast, first one.
Opportunity, man.
Right.
Well, thank you
Opportunity.
for being on the podcast
Thank you.
and spending some time with
Yeah,
us. We
absolutely.
really enjoyed it. Awesome conversation. I'm sure a lot of people who are listening got a lot out of it as well.
I
as
hope
far
so.
as problem solving and troubleshooting, because that's like the story of our lives,
Yeah.
practically.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just, talking with other people who are already doing it, and it's good to learn off of somebody else,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Why reinvent the wheel? That's what I always say.
They definitely don't want to.
And maybe I'll do some spin class.
Yeah, there
No,
you
I'm
go.
not doing spin
Come
class.
on, Jake.
Maybe.
Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys later. Thank you, Young Entrepreneurs Network. We love you guys,
Bye,
and we
thank
will
you.
talk to you soon.
Yes.
Boom.